Picture a human on an open plain. No gun, no bow, no metal blade. Around them are animals faster, stronger, and far more dangerous. And yet this fragile creature became the deadliest hunter the planet had ever seen. How? The answer is not strength. It is something far more surprising. Let's be honest. As animals go, humans are not impressive hunters. We have no claws, no fangs, no thick hide, no venom. We cannot outrun a deer or wrestle a wild boar. A lion would win every physical fight. But our bodies were built for something different, and scientists who study early humans point to our real weapons: our brains, our endurance, and our ability to work together. Before sharp tools, ancient humans hunted with knowledge. They watched animals for generations and learned everything: where they drank, when they slept, how they ran. When they were weak, they learned to track. A bent blade of grass, a print in the mud, fresh droppings. To a skilled tracker, the land told a story. They could follow an animal for hours or days, reading invisible clues the rest of us would walk right past. Ancient humans outthought their prey. They did not need to be stronger than an animal if they could predict its every move. Now here is one of the most incredible things our ancestors did, and there is real science behind it. It is called the persistence hunt, and it uses our single greatest physical gift: endurance. Researchers like Daniel Lieberman at Harvard have shown that the human body is not finely tuned for long-distance running. We have springy tendons, like the Achilles, that store and release energy. We have a special ligament that steadies the head as we run. And most importantly, we sweat. Most animals cool themselves by panting, which they cannot do while galloping. We cool ourselves while moving. This means a human can chase an animal under the hot sun until it overheats. Run, walk, track, repeat. The animal sprints away, then must stop and pant. Hours later, it collapses from heat exhaustion, while the human, still on 2 feet and still sweating, finishes the hunt. No weapon required, just patience, knowledge, and a body built to never stop. Modern observers have actually watched hunter-gatherers perform persistence hunts in this exact way. But we did eventually make weapons, and the evidence is breathtakingly old. At a coal mine near Schöningen in Germany, archaeologists found wooden throwing spears that are around 300,000 years old. These are among the oldest weapons ever discovered, and they were not made by our species. They were made by an earlier human, likely Homo heidelbergensis. The spears are beautifully crafted, balanced like a modern javelin, with the weight at the front for accurate throwing. Found alongside the bones of dozens of horses, they prove that ancient humans were skilled, planning hunters hundreds of thousands of years ago. Throwing itself is a human superpower. Scientists have found that the human shoulder evolved into a kind of biological slingshot, able to store energy and hurl objects with incredible speed and accuracy. No other animal can throw like we can. Long before fancy weapons, ancient humans could pick up a rock and strike a target hard enough to wound or kill from a safe distance. That simple ability changed everything. The evidence for early big-game hunting keeps getting older. At Boxgrove in England, archaeologists found horse and rhino bones nearly 500,000 years old, covered in cut marks from stone hand axes. The way the bones were butchered shows these ancient humans had first access to the meat, meaning they hunted the animals rather than just scavenging leftovers. 500,000 years ago, our ancestors were already taking down large, dangerous prey. Over time, humans invented tools that made them deadlier from a distance. One was the spear thrower, a simple handle that acts like an extension of the arm, launching a light spear with far more force and range. Another was the bow and arrow. Possible evidence for bows reaches back tens of thousands of years, with tiny stone points from sites like Sibutu Cave in South Africa that may have tipped early arrows. These weapons let a hunter strike from far away, keeping a safe distance from hooves, claws, and horns. Ancient humans even mastered chemistry to bring down prey. At some African sites, researchers have found tools that appear to have been used to prepare plant-based poisons. A poisoned arrow does not need to deliver a killing blow. It only needs to break the skin, and then the poison does the rest. This lets small, light weapons take down large animals, a stunning example of ancient ingenuity turning knowledge of plants into hunting power. And hunting was never only about big land animals. Ancient humans also became skilled at fishing and trapping. They wove nets and traps, made hooks from bone, and learned the habits of fish and small game. This steady, reliable food was often more important for daily survival than the dramatic big hunts, and it shows how flexible and clever ancient humans were at getting food from every corner of their world. We should also clear up a myth. The idea that only men hunted while women only gathered is being challenged by new evidence. Studies of ancient burials have found women buried with hunting tools, and research on living hunter-gatherers shows women often hunt too. Just as important, the plant foods gathered, mostly by women, provided a huge share of the daily calories and were far more reliable than the unpredictable big hunts. Survival was a shared effort, with everyone contributing to the food supply. One spectacular find shows just how powerful ancient hunting had become. At Leringen in Germany, archaeologists discovered a wooden spear lying among the ribs of an extinct straight-tusked elephant, an animal far larger than any elephant alive today. Around 120,000 years ago, humans armed with nothing but wooden spears and teamwork brought down one of the largest land animals of their world. It is a breathtaking reminder that intelligence and cooperation could defeat raw size and strength. Teamwork made the hunt deadly. Ancient humans rarely hunted alone, and together they were unstoppable. A group could surround an animal, cutting off escape. They could drive whole herds toward cliffs, swamps, or narrow valleys where the animals were trapped. They used noise, fire, and clever positioning to turn the landscape itself into a weapon. One human is fragile. 10 humans, planning together and communicating, could bring down prey far larger and stronger than any of them. The teamwork did not end when the animal fell. A single large kill could feed an entire group 4 days, but only if the meat was shared, carried home, and protected from other scavengers. So hunting bound people together in a web of cooperation and trust. You helped on the Hunt Today page too, because you knew the group would feed you tomorrow. This sharing of meat may be one of the deepest roots of human fairness and generosity. Even before crafted weapons, ancient humans used whatever the world gave them. They threw rocks. They picked up heavy sticks and bones as clubs. They used cliffs, deep water, and mud to trap and slow their prey. They even scavenged, driving off other predators to steal a fresh kill. We can see this in the cut marks their stone tools left on ancient animal bones. Slowly they began to shape these objects, sharpening a stick, chipping a stone to a deadly edge. The line between no weapons and first weapons was crossed by a brain that looked at a rock and imagined what it could become. They also became masters of the trap. Ancient humans learned to dig concealed pits, set snares, and use natural hazards to catch animals while they were far away doing something else. A well-placed trap meant a human did not even need to be present to make a kill. It was hunting with pure intelligence, turning patience and planning into food without a single moment of danger to themselves. So why does this matter? Because hunting shaped who we are. To hunt without strong bodies, humans had to plan, communicate, cooperate, and outsmart their prey. Scientists believe this pressure helped grow our brains, build our language, and tighten our social bonds. The very things that make us human may have been sharpened on the hunt, and the meat they won changed us too. Rich, high-energy food helped fuel those bigger, hungrier brains, creating a powerful cycle where smarter hunting fed smarter humans. The more cleverly they hunted, the more brain power they could afford, and the more brain power they had, the more cleverly they could hunt. There is one more piece people forget. Weapons were a beginning, not the whole story. Even after humans invented spears and bows, the real power always came from the mind behind them. A spear in the hands of someone who could not track, predict, or cooperate was nearly useless. The greatest hunting weapon humans ever developed was not made of stone or wood. It was knowledge, passed carefully from one generation to the next. Ancient humans should have been easy prey, slow, soft, and weak compared to the giants around them. But they had something no animal could match: a mind that could plan, a body that could endure, and a group that could act as one. They did not beat the wild with strength. They beat it with intelligence and teamwork. And that same combination is exactly what carried us all the way from the open plains to the world we live in today. And share your thoughts in the comments.